Hey everybody, it's Josh here. In this video, I'm going to attempt to tackle this idea of a life path. And I'm going to try to do it without being condescending or insulting towards anyone who believes in a life path, numbers, or is seeking a life path, rather. Now, I know that everyone's on a mission to get through life and do the best they can and figure out as many answers as they can along the way. But what happens is we get caught up in this idea that we have to always know where we're going and where we're coming from. And while I'm still interested in those things, I don't find it quite as important as the current state of being. The current state being the most powerful state, because it's right now. And you can use this any way you want, because it's right now. I know that sounds pretty obvious, but it has strong implications in my life to remember that the only time I really have power over is now. The past is the past, and the future, well, remains to be seen. But this idea of a life path, I've heard people ask questions like, I can't figure out what my life path is, or my life mission, or my goal, or whatnot. And when I hear that, it makes me, the reason why I speak out about it is because I feel that people aren't finding their own way. And I feel that nature has a way of, let's say, working things out. Let me give you an example. I'm trying to figure out how to word this. In the idea of reincarnation, that we're reincarnated, and that we don't remember our past lives, then people go and they get these past life regressions. Now, I'm not even going to talk about whether it's true or not. That's not what this is about. It's about the idea that people go to a past life regression to figure out where they were in their past life. And some people claim that it's because they need to figure out what happened so they can work on issues in this life. And so my thought has always been getting to the root of it, the very root, without any books or ideas or anything put into my head, just straight from my heart that says, if we don't remember a past life, there must be a reason for it. In other words, nature doesn't want us to. So this is why I've never really pushed the issue. I figure, well, if there's something important we didn't need to know in this life, then we'll know it. In other words, nature, or whatever you want to, I guess if you want to give nature the credit for that, doesn't just instill a game of chance and say, well, we'll see if you can figure it out or not. Otherwise, you're going to suffer through the same thing you have in all these lifetimes. Haha, like it's a game or something, like as if humans have to make an effort in a specific direction, or a specific pattern or path designed by man, if that makes sense, in order to get anywhere. And anybody should be able to tap these things through their own reservoir, through their own efforts. And I personally don't believe that there's such thing as a life path, that there's something that we came into this life to accomplish. This doesn't mean that we don't have fates, or that we don't have things that we're going to accomplish in our life. I guess what I mean is that if we start asking questions like, what is my life path, and asking other people, or trying to use our names or numbers or magical birthdays to figure this out, what we're doing is we're putting an idea into our head about what we're supposed to be doing and why. And it's great if that's what people need, but to remember that it's not necessarily your life path if it conflicts with what you want to do with your life. If a person, let's say, reads a horoscope and it tells them that they're this giving, or they're this greedy, selfish person, and whatnot, and what if that inspires them to become that kind of person just because, well, it's in my nature, subconsciously? That's an extreme example. I guess what I'm saying is that all these external influences affect how we perceive the world around us. And so I stopped looking for a path and started just making a path. So I don't really know what else to say about life paths, except I guess, there seems to be a story that builds up in each one of our lives that we create, and the more we allow ourselves to create, I think the more that nature just flows. I feel like if we're trying to force these things and force these ideas, and we're obsessed over particular, hanging on to trying to figure things out about past lives or whatnot, it's like fighting the current. It's like, just live and do it. But I could be totally wrong. These are just my thoughts. In many cultures, past lives are very important. But I use that as an example just because it's something that determines life path for a lot of people. For Christians, life path just means serve God, go to heaven, and same with Muslims. But with Hinduism, it's a little bit more complicated. Buddhism, completely different. But anyway, interesting concepts. Everything's interesting, isn't it? I guess we'll see. Keep laying out those stones in front of me and walk as far as I can. See what happens. Take care, everybody.